Hello and welcome to the first day of Summerween. If I'm being perfectly honest, it is not the first day of Summerween. It's my first day of Summerween, but it actually started yesterday, but I have been all over the place. My household is a disaster right now, but I'm going to start today and I'm going to try to vlog my way through the entirety of Summerween, which I think goes through July 5th to the 12th. It's like a week, and I am going to just pick up where I can a day late and see how many books I can get through. Now, I know there are some prompts. This is a readathon that's organized by Gabby Reads, and I am going to go to her video and check out what the prompts are because I can't remember, but she did an introduction video like a month or two ago and told everybody the dates and everything about the hello, come on, I want to look at this video. Anyway, there, it finally loaded. Yes, so she posted all the information with the prompts and the dates and everything. I'll link the announcement video down below so you can go check that out if you need any information about this readathon. And what are the prompts? I'm trying to scroll. I know that they're on here somewhere. Okay, official dates, July 5th through July 12th. So I was right about that. The prompts. Read a book in the dark or at night. Okay. That's easy. Like, any book can cover that. Read a horror or thriller book. So I am going to try to read exclusively horror or thriller books. I think the ones that I have here to show you are, well, maybe this one's a horror, but I think it's mostly thrillers. And then read a book with a sky on the cover. I think I have that covered. And read a book you've owned for a year or longer. Yes. Read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. Okay. First of all, I will probably listen to the audiobook in the dark. That'll just be the easiest thing for me to do, but I've not picked an audiobook yet. I will select an audiobook, I just have no idea which one I want to pick yet. A horror or thriller book should be easy. The sky on the cover. Okay, so I have, and this is my priority for this video, is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. Sorry about the glare. This I found at the library. I was so lucky to get my hands on it, but it does have a sky on the cover. But I mean, it's also a thriller book, so it counts for that one as well. I've not owned it for more than a year. It just came out. But anyway, it takes place on a train. That's really all I know about it. It says one train, no stops, a deadly game of survival and revenge. So this follows Anna, and apparently there have been a bunch of people responsible for her family's downfall, and she's getting them all on this train with the goal of getting them to like admit their wrongs and turn them in at the end of the train ride. But then people start getting murdered. So I don't know, I guess Anna's not murdering them even though they have wronged her family. I have no idea, but I will find out. I definitely want to read this one. And then I have The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. I think this one will have to be my one that's been on my TBR for a year or longer. This book came out on my book of the month. It says it's May 2022, and I got it when it came out as a book of the month. So I've had this for, gosh, it's been 3 years now. Okay, sorry, my camera overheated and turned off. So I'm sitting in my car and trying to have the air down very low, but it is so hot. It is so hot. My camera said no way. Anyway, this book has been on my TBR for way more than a year, so this can count. I don't even remember what this is about, but I think we are going to get another Isabel Cañas book this year, and I want to read it. I haven't read The Vampires of El Norte either, so this one, it says Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca in this debut supernatural suspense novel. Okay, that's really all I need to know about that. But yeah, I'd really like to get to this one. I also have Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This one is it's about a woman who goes to drop her kid off at daycare and then comes home to this like cryptic note from her husband, and then finds out that her husband is involved in this hostage situation, but he's like the guy holding them hostage. So I have no idea what to expect. This one's really short, but I feel like that's a really good hook, and I'd like to get to that. And then this one I'm the least sure about, but I checked it out from the library. It's This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I feel like I might DNF this because I haven't seen a lot of high ratings, and I also really didn't like Midnight is the Darkest Hour from Ashley Winstead. I still haven't read, what is the one about the knife? There's one that's really popular, and I have not read that one, but I will give this one a try, but it's awfully chunky, so if I'm not interested, I'm putting this one down. But that is all I have for now. My camera is saying it's warm again. That's all I have for now, and I will have to pick an audiobook of course, and I'm not even sure which one of these I'm gonna start with, but hopefully we will have some Summerween fun together, and maybe my camera will not overheat. Okay, I think it's doing better now. Anyway, okay, I'll just go ahead and end this clip and let my camera calm down, and I'll see you soon. I decided to start with a Vengeance by Riley Sager, and I conveniently had a lot of time to read this morning because we spent it at the doctor's office. Yay. I am not sick. It's my partner Kenneth. He's been a little down for a few days, but we've got it all straightened out now. He's got medicine. He is on the mend, and I have read about 100 pages, and this book is organized by like the hour. I'm trying to find a page that I can show you, but like it's 9 p.m. and it tells you how many hours they have left on the train. So what's going on is we're following Anna, who is the daughter of a railroad, I don't know, I kind of want to say tycoon, but that makes him sound like he's a crazy person, and I don't think that he was, but he is now deceased. And he was accused of doing something that he didn't actually have any part of, and Anna is now on the train with the people who were responsible for framing him for something he didn't do, and she is basically just trapped them on this train to Chicago, and there's no way that they can stop the train. Like, she's got everybody paid off, she's got everything set up, nothing works, the emergency brake's not gonna stop the train. Like, no attempts that these people make to get off the train are gonna work. So she has got them trapped, and she's also got evidence that they actually did participate in the plan, I guess, to manipulate things to look like Anna's father had committed a crime. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 people that we kind of follow in the beginning, and we get to know a little tiny bit about them, and mainly just kind of the part that they played in what happened with Anna's father. And what happens with the father eventually results in the deaths of the brother and Anna's mother as well. So all of her family is now deceased due to what these people set in motion. And so obviously she's very angry, of course. And then one person that she wanted to be on the train, actually his son is on the train instead. He came instead of his father. And that's because he has some sort of romantic history with Anna that they haven't really explored yet. But at this point, 100 pages in, we've just now had our first murder. I guess it must be a murder, but a dead body. Up until this point, we've just been getting kind of backstory type things, but now we've just gotten the first person down, because the synopsis did imply that people are going to start getting murdered, so I guess there are going to be more. I don't know. My thoughts on it so far are that it's good. It's good. I think this is kind of trying to be more of a mystery than a thriller, where a lot of Riley Sager books I feel like are more thriller, and maybe this is going to pick up now that we're starting to have actual action taking place. But it kind of feels like it's trying to be, I mean, it's historical. This is taking place in like is it the 50s? It's after World War II, but it is still during the era where trains are a pretty dominant form of transportation, and the like automobiles and planes exist, but they're not the most dominant thing people are using. But some of this does, like, it feels historical, but yet it doesn't, like, it's not written in that way. I don't know if I'm describing that very well, but sometimes it just feels like it's present day, and then you remember, oh yeah, no, this is the past. but I wonder if it's gonna feel more Riley Sager-ish as we progress and the thrilling parts pick up. I'm not really sure, but I am enjoying it, I think. So I will let you know when I have read farther. Hello, same place, different day. Sorry, I'm a terrible vlogger. We're gonna get some footage in here of something fun eventually, but I wanted to update you real quick on With a Vengeance. I bit my lip right before I turned the camera on, and it really, I taste blood a little bit. Can you see it? That's not really that bad. Anyway, so that doesn't feel good. I've been reading this. I think Riley Sager just has a talent, because I just like it. I just like it. It's just fun. That's it. I'm having fun. And that's what I wanted to do when I went into this book. That's when I pick up a Riley Sager book, I want to have fun. And that's what we're doing. Like, nobody else is having fun in this book. There is no fun, but I am having fun. There are some elements that maybe I'm not in love with. Like, I'm not sure that a historical setting is exactly what I would want from Riley Sager. I'm also not sure that I want a Riley Sager book to feel more like a detective whodunit type of mystery rather than a thriller, which this is getting more thrilling, I guess I would say. There have been some escalations of the conflict, certainly, and some twists. I just got to a twist. I'm on page, what? Hello? Oh, my bookmark. My bookmark is Kenneth's Sudoku. He's been sick. I've already told you he's been sick, and he hasn't been able to do much of anything, and when he gets tired of watching TV, he does Sudoku puzzles, and somehow I got one in my book. I am on page 273. I'm on page 273, and so I've got about 100 pages to go, maybe a couple more, 103 or 4 pages to go, but I have gotten to a big twist, which I didn't really see coming. I still have an idea of what I think the twist is going to be later, because there will be another one. Of course there'll be another one. We've still got 100 pages left. It's a Riley Sager book. Of course there will be another one. And I suspect something. I don't know if I'm right, because now that this twist has happened, I don't think that it really meshes really well with what I was thinking the twist would be. So I'm probably wrong. But anyway, it's so fun. That's why it's fun, is because you know these twists are coming. And thrillers are all like this, but Riley Sager particularly, you can just about like guess the page number where you're gonna see the twists, and so you know to expect them. And obviously I can't tell you a whole lot more about the plot after what I told you in the first clip that I did on this book, but things I have picked up. More people are dying, and it does seem like they're, as always with Riley Sager books and a lot of thriller books in general, they kind of try to throw in like a possibility of something supernatural, and I feel like that this is happening a little bit. Like, there's a little like sprinkling of like maybe there could be something weird going on. I don't think it's going to be something like that, but I like when that happens, and it adds a little scary factor to it, because most of the time this doesn't feel very scary, but a few little paragraphs, Riley Sager loves to do that, just kind of throw in like some gore or some horror just here for just a second. Like, we're all just doing regular stuff, and then all of a sudden like somebody's dreaming about a maimed corpse, and then like just very sudden. But that's the fun of it, and I am gonna probably finish this later today and let you know how it goes. I really would love to tell you more about it, because I am enjoying the plot for the plot's sake. I don't love any of the characters. I'm not in love with any of them. The kind of romantic backstory that's happening, I feel kind of I don't want to say invested, because I didn't go into this expecting a romance, but I like it and I would like to know more about that romance. I don't think that it's gonna really amount to anything, because that's not what this book is for. But if it wanted to, if Riley Sager wants that, I want that. I'm fine with it. That'd be great. But it'll probably end up that one of the love interests is a killer or something. I don't know. That's how this stuff usually goes. Seem like you're so tall. This tripod is new and I can't figure out exactly how I want it to be. So you're gonna be way up there for now. I'm gonna tell you about With a Vengeance. This got wacky. Like, it went completely, I guess saying off the rails is a good pun for this book since we're doing the train stuff, but really it got wacky, and not all the way in a good way. I was right about the last twist, I guess, and that was fine. There were many twists that I don't know how I could possibly have predicted. Just wacky is the word that I keep coming up with. Did I have fun? Yes. I am probably giving this a 3. There were some parts that I just felt like the dialogue or the writing was just really kind of stilted, just kind of pulled me out of it for a second. I don't really know exactly how to put my finger on it. It just kind of seemed sometimes like things were repeating themselves. Like we would have a paragraph, like someone would say something, and then we'd have a paragraph where the character would think, I don't really know if that's an accurate assessment. I think that this person is wrong about this. And then the next paragraph is the person speaking, I think you're wrong about that. And it's like, what, could we have just had one or the other? Could we have had the paragraph where they thought it? Or could we just have the paragraph where they said it? We don't really need both things. I don't know. I just thought sometimes it was a little weird. The reactions were a little weird, and the things that they were saying were a little weird. I don't know, but it pulled me out of it just for a second. But otherwise, I enjoyed this. I had fun with this. It's not my favorite Riley Sager. What is my favorite Riley Sager? I think it's probably the summer camp one. The Last Time I Lied, is that what it's called? It's on my shelf somewhere, but I loved that one. This one was fine. It was fine. And I'm gonna give it a 3, and I'm gonna move along because I really don't know what else to say about it without being spoilery, because I've told you about the characters and the motivations for Anna. I do still want more of that romantic relationship that I was talking about in the last clip. And toward the end, it kind of explains why that it would just never work between them. And for me, I'm like, I get it, but it could still work. Like, I can't say what I'm thinking without being spoilery, but I would have read about 100 more pages of this book with their romance. I thought they were fun, but it wasn't meant to be. This is not that kind of book. But anyway, I'm done with this now, and I had to pick something else to read. So I'm about, 75 pages or so into the Hacienda. Oh no, I'm like 100 pages. Yeah, I'm 100 pages in to The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and I am, I'm just not really jiving with the writing, I think, is what it is. And I'm gonna keep going, because obviously if I read 100 pages without even knowing it, then I'm enjoying it just fine. But this is following, we're reading from two different perspectives, but most of the portion that I've read so far has been from the perspective of Beatriz, and she has had a pretty rough past few years. There's a civil war that is either ongoing or has happened that resulted in the death of her father, and then the subsequent like ruining of her family's reputation, and them having to live with a family member who hates them and is ashamed, and it's just her and her mother now. And she manages to find a husband that she's not in love with, but that can give her and her mother a better life, or so she perceives. But she is taken to his estate, and then he has to go off and do man stuff. And so she's left there with his sister and the servants, not very many servants, and some really weird stuff going down in the house. Really weird stuff. And things, she's seeing things and experiencing things, and then when she tells others about it or wants to prove it to them, they can't see it and it's gone, and people are just leaving her at night in the house when they seem to know. They don't like expressly say most of the time that they know something's up in this house. They kind of treat her like maybe she's going insane, but sometimes they'll let it slip that they know. They know something's weird in this house and they don't want to be in there, but they make her stay in there. And then there is Andres, who is a priest, but I'm not sure how dedicated he actually is to the priesthood. It seems like he has something else going on that motivated him to become a priest, for his own safety or the safety of his family or reputation. I'm not sure why he became a priest, but it seems like he has something else going on that I don't really know about yet. I've only read from his perspective for like one chapter, so I really have no idea what he's doing. From what it did start from his perspective, and from what I gather, there's gonna be some type of romantic involvement for him. I don't know if it's Beatriz, I guess so, but it seems like he is letting go of someone he loves at the very beginning, and I'm not sure how we're gonna get there through the course of the story. But he has just agreed to come help Beatriz with her supernatural problem, because he believes her. So that's where I am in the book now. And like I said, I think it's the writing. It's a little bit, there's a lot of description, and I don't do well with a lot of description. I think maybe that's why this was more fun for me, because there was barely any description at all. Like every once in a while somebody would look outside and be like, oh, it's snowing, and then that would be it. Well, they would look outside and they would think about how it was snowing, then they would say, it's snowing, and that's how that would go. But anyway, I am going to continue reading this. I also need to pick an audiobook, and I think I'm going to pick some type of young adult thriller or horror. That's just kind of what I'm feeling like reading right now, and I don't have any of those in my TBR for the week, so I think I'll probably try to find something along those lines, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But I need that'll hit 2 of the prompts. If I can get a spooky audiobook and listen to it in the dark, read it in the dark, then that will count for 2 prompts. This would have counted for the mystery or thriller horror, and also counts for the sky on the cover, and this one will cover the been on my shelf for over a year, and also it has a sky on the cover, so 2 birds with 1 stone there. And also it's a thriller horror. I think this is technically a horror, right? I'm not entirely sure, but I from what's going on, I think that's what it is. But anyway, then that I could probably hit all of the prompts with 3 books, but maybe I'll have time to read more books. That would be great. I don't know, but I'm going to carry on with this, and then maybe next time I speak to you, I will have chosen an audiobook. having a little bit of a freak out day. just slightly stressed. We found out today that, well, I mean, we've known for a while that our house was in the process of selling. Someone was interested, we had to do a bunch of stuff, and everything was agreed upon. We knew we were selling our house. Not this house that I'm in right now, but the house we recently moved out of. And tomorrow, we found out today that tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day that we sign the papers. And I don't know how to feel. I mean, I'm really glad that we moved. I'm really glad we have this house, but it's just so sad. We lived in that house for 10 years and I'm just really torn about how happy or sad I am that this is happening. But anyway, I finished the hacienda. Also, I'm in the bathroom. I'm about to take my makeup off. I don't know why I decided to talk to you at this very moment, but anyway, I finished the hacienda. I gave it a 3, and I really think I might lower it to like a 2.5. I just really didn't get along with this book. And I think part of it, I think why I'm probably gonna leave it at a 3 is because I knew that I wasn't in the mood for this. Within a few pages, I was like, nope, I'm not. I don't think that me and this book are gonna get along at this particular point in time, in this particular mood. This was not what I was feeling. And I just didn't, I mean, I have plenty of other books on my shelf that have been on there for more than a year that I could have picked from, but I was like, I really want to have read this. I know this author has a new book coming out soon, or maybe it has just came out, but I was thinking of reading that one, and I needed to get this one read first. And now I do think I will give this author another shot, but I just didn't really get along with the writing. I didn't really care about the characters. I didn't love the story. The best thing about it was, for me, was the historical setting and kind of learning about that, not necessarily the time period. It wasn't like going deep into the types of things that were happening during that time. I think the author's note at the end even says like, hey, don't read this as like a historical representation. Just like read it as a work of fiction based on something that happened in history. And so I understand that, but I did enjoy the historical setting, and I did like maybe one character I liked. But that's about it. And yeah, I don't know how much more to tell you about the story itself without getting spoilery, but Paloma is the character that I liked. I'll just tell you that. So if you've read this, then you know who that is. And I did at times like Beatriz and Andres. They were not bad characters. I just didn't feel for them, I guess. I don't know. It's just such an emotional day. This was the wrong time to read this, and I feel bad. I feel bad for giving it 3 stars and thinking that maybe I even wanted to give it lower when I don't think it's the book's fault. I think the book is fine. I just think that I was not the right person for this book today. But anyway, now I'm moving on. So I spent part of the morning today listening to audiobook samples just to see if maybe I could find something that really felt like it was just for me right now. And what I ended up with is wow, those lights, The Thrashers by Julie Sato. And I haven't started listening to the book at all, but I did listen to the sample, and I thought this sounds very like drama, very angst, very teenager, like high stakes, but not high stakes at the same time, you know what I mean? And that's just kind of what I'm feeling right now. Something, it's YA, I believe. I think they're in high school. I think, well, let me read what this is about again. Yes, a YA thriller, that's what it is. I think the comparison titles are, well, it's for fans of Karen McManus and Kara Thomas. So I've never read from Kara Thomas, but I have read from Karen McManus, and I thought it was enjoyable, kind of the thing that I'm going for right now. There's also a blurb from Allie Hazelwood, which doesn't really seem like what I'm going for, but I don't know. This is about an elite friend group at a high school. So it will be YA. I think that one of them, either somebody who's trying to become one of these elite friend group people, or someone who already is in the friend group, dies. And then I imagine quite the scene will take place. I don't know if people are going to be accused of killing her. I don't even know if she's murdered. Like, I have no idea the circumstances surrounding the death, but it mentions the death in the synopsis, so I imagine it must be important to this elite friend group called the Thrashers. The little sample that I listened to, there was a girl like waking up in a hospital bed and asking about all of her friends and talking about her injuries that she feels, and apparently they were in some type of car accident that was like a real freak accident, and that's all I know because that's all that was in the sample, but I found it very intriguing, so I'm gonna go ahead with that one. And that one will have to be the one that I read in the dark as well, and I'm not sure when I'm gonna do that. It is getting dark outside right now, so technically I could say if I read it at night, then I read it in the dark, but I don't know if I'm gonna try to pull that one off, but that may end up being my read in the dark. But anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow after we have closed on our house, after we have said goodbye and it's gone forever. Okay, good night. Well, we sold our house. It's gone. It's all happened. It was a lot of, you know, signing papers and stuff, but that's it. Our old house, where I marked the lines where my kids' heights were, and, you know, it's just something sentimental. It's fine. It's good. We needed to sell it. We did not need to keep paying 2 different house notes. That is unreasonable over the long term. Anyway, so after we closed on the house, we went to Bath and Body Works, and they have their Summerween floor set, I guess is what you call it, but they've got tons of Halloween stuff out and some fall stuff, and so I have a little bit of a haul for you. I'm gonna go through it really quickly because I don't know how long this video is, but I got my little haul. I got one lotion, and it is glazed pumpkin. It smells so nice, very like vanilla, pumpkin, cinnamon vibes. What does it actually say? It says vanilla, caramel, and pumpkin. Okay, well that's kind of what I said. And then I got tons of hand soaps. We go through a lot of hand soaps because we have several sinks in the house, and I don't know, I have no excuse for buying this many hand soaps, I really don't. But they had a few summer soaps still that I felt like would be good late summer vibes. We've got Summer Adventures, and then let's see if I can just find the ones that are summer. I can't. Okay. Oh no, this one is one of the late summer ones. Brambleberry Harvest. That one is very fruity. It almost smells like bubblegum. And then what else? Oh, this one. S'mores Cookie Clusters. And this one is very like chocolatey bakery smell. And then I think everything else I got is like fall or Halloween. So more on theme for this video. I got Leaves, which is a signature fall scent for Bath and Body Works. got Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, which is probably my favorite of their fall scents, a classic. And I got Fresh Fall Morning, which is kind of, it doesn't have any of the like pumpkin bakery vibes, but it's got, let's see, it says citrus zest, woodland sage, and red delicious apples. So this one's very different than most of the others that I got. And then, oh, this one. This is probably my favorite one. This is Leather Bound Pages. So they had several book themed things. They had some body care, but I think there was a lotion, a spray, and a wash, and it was called Book Loft. I didn't love the scent, but I just thought it was great that they're embracing the cozy book vibes. This one is soft, worn leather, inked stained pages, and cozy vanilla is what they say that this smells like. I cannot confirm that that's exactly the vibe, but it does smell good, and I'm excited about that one. And it has like the fall, like some fall leaves on the side and some books. Love the labeling. And then everything else I got was Halloween. I got your classic Vampire Blood. I get this every year. And then I got Pumpkin Carving, which is probably my favorite scent ever from Bath & Body Works. And then I got Candy Apple Cauldron. They had a few other Halloween ones. One was called like Ice Cream Float, and I thought it was gonna be kind of a bakery ice cream smell, but it was more of like a root beer float. And it was shocking. It was shocking. It wasn't bad, but just I wasn't feeling it. And then they had one that was more floral. I think it's called Ghoul Friend. And I just wasn't feeling that one either. So I'm gonna go for the late summer ones first and try to get me through as much August as possible. I guess I still got to get through July, but I still have some other hand soaps I'm going through. And then I'll try to get through August on my summer soaps, and then we'll start with fall. I can't wait any longer. That's just gonna have to be how it is. But that is my small, well, sort of small Bath & Body Works haul. What I need to talk to you about though is books. So I have been listening to The Thrashers by Julie Soto, and I am, how far? I am 27% in, and I really like it. I really like it. This is what I wanted to read the whole Summerween. I love a YA thriller. I don't know why I love them so much. And this one is very like rich kid drama, but the main character that you follow is not a rich kid. She's just kind of involved with the rich kids. So basically what's happening is we have a group of, I think, 5 friends. We've got Jody and Paige, Lucy, Julian, and Zach. So a group of 5 friends, and they are called the Thrashers. And it's just because the one guy, Zach, his last name is Thrasher, and everybody apparently wants to be friends with Zach. Everybody loves him. He's super extroverted, super friendly, and everybody wants to be around him. And the people that he accepts into his little group are the Thrashers, I guess. And he's nice to everyone, but only a chosen few get to be like part of his crew, I guess. And I don't, so far it doesn't seem like he means to do that, like he's got some, like he's full of himself or anything. Like it seems like he's actually a nice guy, and I don't know if that's gonna follow through, but so far in the story it seems like he genuinely is just really nice, and these people just are his friends, and that's that. So we're following Jody, and she is not rich like the others, and she's got a few family problems of her own, and she's kind of, I think she doesn't like come out and say this, but she seems to feel like she's not necessarily good enough to be in the group, or like if the group needed to choose a side, they wouldn't side with her, or just she seems to have a lot of self-esteem issues relating to the group situation. But the main plot is a girl has passed away, and this girl, she's already dead at the beginning of the book, but she had apparently decided at some point in the previous school year, because when we're following the story, we pick up the story in late July when school is about to start back. But the previous school year, this girl, Emily, that has died, she kind of tried to join up with the Thrashers, and she just pushes herself onto them. Or that is the perception of the Thrashers, is that she just shows up uninvited, and she sits with them without asking if they want her to, and she shows up at things that they've planned to do together and just expects them to give her a ride, or to let her sit with them at the, like, go to the movies with them, or whatever it is that they're doing. She just pops up, and no one says that they've invited her, and she's very odd, like asks very personal questions. And I don't know if we're going to go down a road of like she is maybe on the autism spectrum and she didn't understand the social expectations of these friendships, or if we're going to go down the road of she had some sort of sinister intent. Because at the time the story begins, she has unalived herself, this Emily girl, and now the Thrashers are being blamed for it because of stuff that she wrote in her journal or her diary, and none of the Thrashers seem to have any idea what she's talking about. So she's writing all of these journal entries when she was alive about things that they were doing and saying, and no one remembers these things happening. But now they look very responsible for her choosing to unalive herself, because there seems to be some type of bullying, some promises made that were broken, things like that, and nobody is admitting to making any of these promises, but to the detective investigating, it seems as if they kind of coaxed her into her decision. And that's where we are in the story, which it's exciting and also not moving very quickly at the same time. And that's exactly my vibe. That's exactly my pace. Like, I don't care if we have to go through day to day with Jody and she's brushing her teeth and thinking about things. I don't care, as long as we actually have like a moving plot. We're gonna find out what happened with this Emily girl, what is going on, and that it's fun, it's great. There have been several like parties already, and it's fun. I don't know if it's gonna stay fun because now they're back in school, so I don't think they're gonna be doing too much like summer partying anymore. It's mostly gonna take place at school, but I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. And I guess today is Friday, so tomorrow is the last day of Summerween, so that means I'm gonna have to finish this in the next 24-ish hours, which I think I can do. So I'm gonna get back to that and I will update you when I have finished. Well, here we are. We've reached the end of Summerween. If I'm being real honest with you, the end of Summerween has passed. I just did not get a chance to finish my book and update you. We ended up going to the water park, which you may have seen footage of, or may see footage of right now while I'm talking, I don't know. But we went to the water park and had a great Saturday, which was the last day of Summerween, and I wasn't reading while I was there. I couldn't have heard my audiobook if I had wanted to. But the good news is I have finished The Thrashers now, and the even better news is I gave it 5 stars, and I feel pretty solid about the 5 stars. I tried to convince myself that it was a 4-star because typically I don't give thrillers 5 stars. That's just kind of a rule, and I rarely break it. And I said, well, it's gonna have to be 4 stars. The best thriller in the world is just still 4 stars. No, it's not. No, this was a 5-star. And I would be surprised if it's not in my favorite thrillers of the year at the end of this year. I just really vibed with it. It was exactly what I needed right now. I don't want to tell you a lot because I want you to read it, but I will tell you a little bit more about the developing plot because I don't think I knew much about it whenever I was talking to you about it before. But the friend group, we're following Jody, and the friend group called the Thrashers have all been given different documents summoning them to court, basically. All of them are accused of different things that are related to basically bullying and harassing, manipulating this girl, Emily, that has passed away before the beginning of the book. And Jody, the main character, is not, like, she's not accused. She is apparently has done nothing wrong, according to the police. And there is a diary that the police have possession of that they are taking all of these accusations from, and then they are questioning people, and people are coming forward as eyewitnesses to these events, that the Thrashers don't remember any of them occurring, but other people are witnessing it. And because of the status of the group and how people feel that they've been maybe pushed aside by these people or mistreated by these people because they're popular, or maybe there's some of them that are just plain jealous and they come forward as the eyewitnesses. So you're already suspicious that, like, what is real? What has happened? Because if the characters say they can't remember, and you're only in Jody's head, so you know she doesn't remember. And then there's eyewitness testimony, I don't know. So then things kind of dive a little deeper when Jody starts to recall some questionable things that Emily mentioned before she passed away. And there are some hidden items that Jody is able to find that might help prove her friend's innocence. And then the main thing that I could not get enough of was there was a developing romance, and it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I really thought that it was gonna go a different way, and I love that it didn't. I love that romance. I was more invested in that romance than I have been in the past several romance books that I've read, and this was by no means a romance, but I was invested. I would read a series with these people, just more. I loved it. I loved all the characters, the ones that were exhibiting bad behavior, the ones that were already dead when the book started, just everybody. I loved it. I need to get some more Julie Soto books because I don't know if it was just the writing or what it was, but I loved it. And now I'm in the mood for YA, hardcore, because I enjoyed that so much, and that was exactly what I was looking for, and I just think that I will be reading more YA in the near future. Something else I discovered very late in the game is that there was a Summerween bingo, and this was on Instagram. I try to stay off Instagram as much as possible, but I did go and fetch this bingo board just to see if I happened to complete anything. And let's see, I haven't looked at it yet. So read a book in the dark. I did do that because that was one of the main prompts. Watch a scary movie. I did do that. I did watch a scary movie. Actually, before I started even reading for this vlog, I watched a scary movie. Me and Kenneth, when he was sick, we watched The Burning, which is like an 80s horror movie at a summer camp. It's like some kids play a prank on I don't know if he's like a counselor or the gardener or whatever. He's got this signature pair of shears, so maybe he's the gardener. There's a prank gone wrong. This guy gets burned really badly, and then he comes back years later for revenge. So you got this like burned man and his shears, and he's attacking these people at summer camp. It is what you would think it is, yeah. But I did. I watched a scary movie, and what else do we have? Read a book with 6 words in the title. No, I didn't do that. I read With a Vengeance, I read The Hacienda, and I read The Thrashers. No, not at all. Okay, read a book that takes place in the desert. Well, The Hacienda kind of did, because everything was dead at Beatrice's house because of the haunting situation. I don't think I'm going to count that though. Read a thriller or horror book. Yes, I did that. Bake a fall-inspired treat. I did not do that. Listen to a Halloween playlist. I didn't do that. Read a book outside. I did listen to some of my audiobook when I was outside. So that happened. Read a book with a night sky on the cover. With a Vengeance had a night sky on the cover. Okay, so I definitely got a diagonal bingo. Did I get any? No, I don't think I got any other. But I got a bingo. I got 3 in a row. So I did accomplish that without trying, just barely. But that brings me to the end of this Summerween vlog. This was a lot of fun. I am tired of scary books right now, unless it's another YA thriller that I just can't get enough of. Because those are usually like kind of toned down. Not really, but it just, I'm so far removed from those experiences that I don't get like scared or whatever. Like I don't relate to it. I can empathize, but I don't relate. And I kind of, that when you're reading a horror book and you get in really deep and like to the point of having nightmares and stuff, then I know that I need to step back, you're too deep, too far in. And I feel like I'm done with horrors for the moment. I'm gonna read some lighter stuff, but I will see you guys in another video soon. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel and it's very small right now, and that's okay. I'm enjoying making these videos, but if you want to stick around, please do so. And I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!